guys playing here or where are you guys playing?
Sports Park.
Sports Park.
Yes.
And at 5?
What was
A
it?
las 5?
5:30.
5:30.
Okay. So here we go. Listen. Copy this. This is I'm recording the video. This is what I want you to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Go home and study. Practice the problems. Make sure you're ready for Monday. So this one, there's a table. I'm not gonna make the table again, but on your work, you do need to give me make the table for me again, so I can know you're copying it. But you're supposed to make this table, not the same table. You're gonna make my table is called like the money table. So I'm gonna put the original. I'm just gonna put ORIG for now, and then I'm gonna put the decimal here that I call money, right? Decimal, like money. So if you notice, the first one is the watch, it's negative 0.3, right? But that's not money yet, so I'm gonna say negative 0. What? Huh? 30. Negative 30 cents, basically. Okay, you can draw a line so you won't confuse them. The next one is just the 3 by itself, that's the the ties. How would you write that in money? $3. The next one is 291. Is that one already money? Yeah, that one I can just leave it the same. The next one is negative 0.9. Negative 0.9. Let me draw a line so I won't confuse them. Especially you draw crooked. And all those, you're listening? How much money would that be? 90 cents. Negative 90 cents. Good. Then the next one would be negative $1.01. That would be still negative $1.01. Questions? So this one is really simple because everything was already in decimals. Everything was in decimals. I just made it into money. So this one is simple. Now, if it was in fraction, bottom out. If it was in percent, twice to the left. Okay? Pero como esa es decimal, pues yo paro. Once you do that, you need to draw a number line. Like you have to. Please draw a number line. Especially when there's negatives, we need number lines, guys. Okay, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So I'm going to draw a number line up here so you guys can see it. Okay? There's negatives and positives. I want to put a 0 in the middle. If they're all negatives, I will put the 0 more to the right because I need to go to the left. If they're all positives, I will put the 0 more to the left because I need to go to the right. But since there's negative and positive, I'm going to put it right in the middle. Now, here's how you use the number line. Here's how you graph them. You start from 0, and I like to do the positive first because those are the easy ones. If I start counting $0, let's look at the positives, which is the $3, the $2.91, and that's it, right? So starting from 0, who would come up first starting from 0? $2.91 or $3? So I'm going to put a little mark, and I'm going to say $2.91. That's the money. And on the top, we're going to put the original. After $2.91, who would come on next? $3. So I'm going to make another mark, $3. The original on the top, just the 3. The reason I put the original on the top is so like that, I'm able to, the start test is I'm going to put the money. That's our strategy because we understand money better. 0 to 91, $3, $4, $5, y así sigue, ¿verdad? I put the original on the top so I can go back to the table and know what they want, okay? I am done with the positives. Now I'm going to focus on the negatives. Now here's where we screw up. Some of you want to start from over here. Let me show you. Some of you want to start from over here. From over here. No, you always begin at what number? 0, and we go this way. Okay? Positive, we don't have a problem. We're fine. We're going the way that we're used to, left to right. But negatives, we go right to left when we're putting them in the number line. Okay? Because we start from 0. So starting from 0, who would come out first? Negative 30 cents, negative 90 cents, or negative $1.01? Huh? Negative 30 cents, right? Starting from 0, negative 30 cents. Negative 30 cents. Put the origin on the top, negative 0.3. Who would come up next after negative 30 cents? Huh? Negative 90 cents. Negative 90 cents. Put the origin on the top, negative 0.9. Who would come up next? Negative $1.01, and negative $1.01 is the original. Now, the reason I do this is because some of you still think that that $1 is greater than that 30 cents. It's not. Because he's negative. Él debe más dinero. He's more to the left. The number line will help you guys because it's already ready for you. Why is it ready? Because look, this symbol is the less than symbol. And the L reminds you of that. The L reminds you this is the left. The more I go to the left, it's less. This one is the greater than symbol. If you just draw a letter C, you can see the G there. This guy is the greater than symbol. Now, in my question once least to greatest, I go from here and I just start going this way. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. If my question wants least to greatest. But if my question wants greatest to least, I start from the G. So I'm going to go first, second, third, fourth, fifth. That's why we put it in the number line. So like that, if they want least to greatest, pues empiezo de la L. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. If they want greatest to least, empiezo de la G. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Questions? Because if we don't put in the number line, I saw in the last benchmark, the last benchmark that we took, I saw that some of you still think that the negative, like let's say I have negative 10 and negative 1, some of you think that negative 10 is greater. Negative 10 will be more to the left, he's less. Okay? The number line helps you, once you put it correctly, starting from 0, you put them correctly, you graph them correctly, now you just let the LG help you. L to G, left to right. G to L, right to left. Let's see what they want here. They want me to order them from greatest to what? Least. So guess what? I'm starting from the G. So I like to circle and say, okay, I'm starting from here. So this guy would be first. This guy would be second. This guy would be third. This guy would be fourth. And this would be fifth. Now it's just as simple as looking back at the table. Who's the $3? Who's the $3? The ties. And according to me, he should be what? First. So let me see. Out. Good. Out. Good. It's between B and D. Who should be second? 291, right? Which is who? Shoes. Well, let me see. Shoes. They're still tight. They're still good. Who should be third? Watches. Pants. Ya valió esta. The answer is B. Questions? All of them always went that way, and that's why my strategy is always make my money table and make my number line, and then just follow L to G.
Good morning. 8 o'clock, or a little bit past 8 o'clock. At this moment, send every student that's taking the K-12 assessment to the tap here. We're waiting for them. Once again, stop what you're doing. Check the list and send me every student that's missing the K-12 test. Thank you.
Okay. The next question. This one is about, look what it says. 2.5 times. Ya te está diciendo to what? To multiply. So I'm going to put 21. 2.5 times 8.25. Your test will have one like this. Now, can you multiply fractions with decimals? No. I have to change that fraction to a decimal. Good job. Like he already knows that this is one of our cards. Half is how much always? 50 cents, right? So I'm going to say 2.50 instead times 8.25. Now, what if I don't know the card? Because you bottom out. You go to the side and you bottom out. You're going to go to the side and go like this. 1 divided by 2. If I don't know my cards, I'm going to bottom out on the side. And you see there the 50 cents? But because you already had $2 there, that's why it's really 2.50. Just so you know. Question. So if I don't know my cards by memory what half is, 50 cents, just bottom out. And you'll still be okay. Now I'm ready to multiply. When you multiply decimals, you treat them like wholes. Because they're easier. Now if you notice what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the 0. Because I don't need them when I'm multiplying. So I'm going to just put 25. Okay? So I'm going to drop them. I don't need them. That's 5 times 5. Now if you don't drop them, nothing happens either. 5 times 2, 10 plus 2, 12. Okay. 5 times 8, 40 plus 1, 41. Can you use your times table chart on the final? Yes, if you make one new. I'm going to give all of you a grid. And if you make a new one, you can use it. You cannot use one that's already pre-made. Okay? Okay, so I'm done with the 5, right? So cross it out and put a 0. Cross these out too so you won't confuse them anymore and use them again. Now we go with a 2. 2 times 5, 10. 2 times 2, 4 plus 1, 5. 2 times 8, 16. 5, 2, 6, you add them all right? 10, 2. Right now the answer looks like 20,625. So this is 20,625. But they're not really wholes. We treat them like wholes to calculate quickly, but then we're going to have to put the decimal back. So you count. 1, I don't count the 0 because I got rid of them since the beginning. 1, 2, 3. So how many times do I have to move? 3. Go to the end. 1, 2, 3. The answer is 20.625. Okay? So I'll punch in that $20. 20.65 is what I will punch in. I'm very worried about this in the start because what if you guys want to do 20.63? Are you going to count it right or wrong? I'm going to check on that because if not, we'll have to punch in whatever really came out. Because I've been telling you treat it like money 2063 is what you probably would have done. But right now, just put it like that. Especially since it's not really money, it's dealing with ounces. We want to put the whole thing. Okay? And I'm gonna investigate that. I'm gonna call TA. That's what I do. I just call TA. I don't call BIU. Sometimes as lost as me. Okay? Any questions? I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch this video. I'm still confused, and I'm gonna try number 20 so I can be ready for the Monday's final. Okay? So that's another one that's ready for you. The next one that's gonna be like your final is question number 14, 15, and 17. So I'm gonna skip to those 14, 15, and 17. Yes, ma'am?
Some of those 12 questions right now is too late because I had them since yesterday, but I forgot them.
Okay, let's just give them to me.
Ahorita?
Well, if you don't give them to me. Okay, here we go. Question 14, you have problems like this on your final. Question 14. Let me change the color. Am I already recording? Let me see. Yeah. I am recording. Okay. So number 14, I need to go with blue. There we go. 4 parentheses. What's parentheses number next to parentheses? Multiply. Okay. Plus -10. You're supposed to be copying. Okay. Plus 3 times -8. Okay. Actually, in the benchmark, I noticed some of you that are missing this because you're not doing the order of operations. The order of operations, I told you to use the acronym P for parentheses, E for exponents, MD for multiply or divide, and AS for add and subtract. This is level 1. I call it level 1. Like, those are your VIPs. They go first. Level 2, those are the next group. You know, like you're going to the conference, the VIP will go first. Those are the parentheses. Who cares if there's the last ones that showed up, that there's a line that's 100 mouse lines? Either VIP is going to cut everybody because they are parentheses. Then we have the second level. Okay, maybe rich people. They'll still be the first ones because they're getting connections. Then the third level. And then al último, los pobres que apenas agarraron boleto. Okay? That's the way you should kind of think about this. So when I go to, and I have to use this checklist, guys. So go look at your expression here. Do you see anything that you need to calculate that's inside the parentheses? No. Because sometimes I tell the kids, do you see parentheses? Because yes, they're basically there. But the reason that we have parentheses is to show that guy is negative. That guy is negative 10, negative 2, negative 8. But we don't have an operation inside parentheses. So I'm going to say, you know what, we don't have anything. Exponents, I have not touched exponents. So exponents, there's not going to be exponents on Monday either. Exponents are these, the ones that say like 3 to the third power, like they have a little number in the corner. I will teach you that later on, okay? Or 4 to the 8th power, whatever it is. Those are the exponents. I haven't taught you that, so you're not going to get that. So put a check there. Now, do we have multiply or divide? Yeah. We have multiply right there. We have multiply right there. So we have two sets of multiplications. This guy and that guy. When that happens, we're going to go left to right when we have two. Okay? When we have division, let's say we have division right there. Division will go first, guys. That's why sometimes some of you are doing it like in elementary, and I'm not too crazy. Listen to this part. I've seen kids write them back this way, and I'm not crazy about this. I'm already going to warn you. You know why I'm not crazy about this? Because you think that multiply always goes before divide, and that is not true. Multiply and divide are in level 3, and whomever comes first from left to right will go first. So if I had a division problem here, 12 divided, guess what? He will go before the multiply. Because they're level 3. Whomever's first on left to right goes first when you are multiplying. So when teachers in elementary tell you to write it this way, many kids create a misconception that multiply always goes before divide, and that's not true. Multiply and divide, they're the same level, and whomever's first on the list, he goes first. Don't forget that. Same thing with add and subtract. Kids think that the adding always goes first. Nope. If I have this, look, check this out. 3 minus 4 plus 2. Guess who goes first? This guy. But many kids might do first add. Okay? You understand? And you see, well, what's the difference? Look, 3 minus 4 would be negative 1. Negative 1 plus 2, that's this. That would be positive 1. Now let me go with the other kid that decides to go thinking that add always goes first. 3 minus 4 plus 2. What's 4 plus 2? 6. And 3 minus 6, negative 3. You see, we have different answers. This guy is correct and this guy is wrong. Because he did not follow the order of operation. The order of operation says that when you're in add and subtract, you're going to go left to right. So subtract wins, not add. Now this was add, and then this one was subtract. Who goes first now? Add. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? That's why I don't want you to write it this way anymore. I want you to write it in levels. Multiply and divide, they're level 3 people. Whomever's in line first will go first. So if multiply is in the first part, then you go first. If divide is in the first part, then they go first. Question. And I just show you right now an example of what happens when you follow this. Now, if the teacher told you, like I've seen teachers that might do this to you and like put a box, well, that's better. Like if they're telling you that, you know what, either one can go first. I'm just worried that you think that multiply always goes first. No, it depends who comes left to right. Okay? Now, let me get rid of all that red. No. Well, who said it? No. I thought it was esta musiquita. Okay. Okay, so let me continue now. Let me get rid of this guy. That was a quick lesson on the order operation, okay? So do you have multiply and divide? Yes, we do. Left to right, so I'm gonna go with this guy first. What's 4 times 2? 8. But there's a negative. When there's a negative, you better write a rule. What rule do you use when you're multiplying negative? Dorito man. So Dorito man. And how do I use Dorito man? Real simple. I have a negative and a positive, so you circle those. Whatever you don't circle, that's what you keep. So this guy will be negative 8. Put them in parentheses so we can show that it's negative 8 and not a minus symbol. Now, you see this caret? It tells you that you already worked with these two numbers, so I like to box them, so I won't use them again. Everything that's not boxed comes down. Plus negative 10 comes down. Plus comes down. The 3 comes down. The parentheses, which means times, comes down. The negative 8 close. Questions so far?
No, sir.
Go back to your checklist. Do we still have multiply and divide? Yes. Where? The 3 and the 8, right? So you put the caret there to show me that that's next. And you multiply. What's 3 times 8? 24. Ah, there's a negative. I need Dorito man again. Dorito man is when you're multiplying or dividing negatives. Negative, negative, positive. Circle the ones that you're working with, which is positive and negative. Who's not being circled? Negative. You see that caret? You already worked with those two. Put a box and say, I'm done with you. Everything that's not inside the box comes down. So you see the plus comes down. The negative 10 comes down. The plus comes down. The negative 8 comes down. Okay? Go back to your checklist. Do we have more multiply or divide?
No.
Now put a check and say, okay, I'm done with level 3. Let's go with the level 4 people. Do we have add and subtract? Yeah, we have add. So guess what? Left to right. He gets the caret now. Oh, but we have negatives, so I need rule. What's the rule when you're adding negative? Very good. And it's the same. And same will remind you, the A will remind you to what? Add. And the E, keep. Keep it negative, that's what we're saying. 8 and 10 is 18. That's what I just did. I added. And keep means to keep it the way it is. Negative, negative, keep it negative. You see that caret? I am done with those two numbers. Put a little box around so you won't bring them down again. Everything else comes down. Go back to your checklist and we still have add and subtract. Yes, we do. The last part is add. 24 plus 18. Oh, but it's negative. So guess what I need again? A rule. So you better write the rules what I'm trying to tell you. What's the rule? Same again. Do you all know why it's same? Because the signs are the same. Long time ago, I used to tell the kids to even do it this way. I would tell them, the signs are the same. I'm going to add, and I'm going to keep the sign the same. So they would say, the signs are the same, add and keep. I don't do that part anymore because I just thought it was too messy. But if you want to, you can. 18 plus 24 would be 32, I believe. No, 42. 42. And then keep, right? Keep what? Negative. So you better punch it in as negative 42.00. And then you're done with question 14. You will have questions like this on Monday. Okay? I am going to stop the video, but the next class I'm going to continue with whatever I didn't get to cover with you. And then the next class will get to see this. They're not going to see this because they can see the, you know what I'm saying? By the time I know it, I have the whole video covered for you. Oh no. Okay. Okay, so dice Ms. Gutierrez, so Ms. Gutierrez earned, this is question 36, earned 92% of her semester. What is the decimal equivalent? So look, they want a decimal, guys, right? So from percent to decimal, how do we do that?
You move the decimal to
So I'm gonna copy the percent, put my decimal, and move him twice to the left. 1, 2. There's my decimal 92 cents. That's all you're doing from percent to decimal. Since I'm already here, I'm also going to remind you that from fraction to decimal, let's say you have 3/5, and you want to change it to a decimal. What do? Bottom out. Good. Bottom out is the strategy, but you're really dividing. This is what I just say to remember. Bottom out, but it's really actually you're dividing, right? So I'm going to go 3 divided by 5. Bottom out. Put your decimal at the end. This is in case you have a fraction. Right now we have a percent in the questions. That's why we move twice to the left. But if you have a fraction, how do I change it to a decimal? Bottom out. So you add a 0, and it will be 0.6. Okay? So anytime you want to go to a decimal, there's only 2 ways. Twice to the left, if you're going from percent to decimal, that's the first way. Again, if I want to go from percent to decimal, it's twice to the left, move the decimal twice to the left, the way I showed you right there with that 92. Yeah, no, it's recorded. Yes, so you can just, and then the other way is from fraction to decimal, we call it the bottom out, which is really divide. It's just a little summary here, bottom out. That's when you want to go from fraction to decimal. Question? Anytime you want to go to decimal, there's only 2 things you can do. Twice to the left, if you're going from percent to decimal, twice to the left. From fraction to decimal, we're going to divide bottom out. Okay? You will have one question about this on Monday. So the choices, some of them might be fractions, so that's why I'm telling you to bottom out those choices so you can know which one will match your decimal. Okay? Question with that? And right now it's frozen because I'm writing on it, but once I unfreeze it, you see how it takes 25 minutes? It's only you can start. It's not recording them. Once I unfreeze the screen, it's 28 minutes. Okay? If you need copy, I'm recording it.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
I would like.
Okay, sorry. The next one that I'm gonna go, that you're gonna have for the test is gonna be number 58. 58. Yeah, you have a question like 58 on the test. This guy. So this one, I'm gonna remind you of things about this one. Okay? Number 58. When you have questions like this, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna know that letter F, just so you know. The first number, that's your X. The second number, -1.5. That's your what? Your Y. Yes? The first number always moves left or right.
No.
Up or down?
Always moves left or right. Left if you're negative, right if you're positive. And he's first. He's always first. X is always first. Okay? The second number, he'll be second. And he moves after you move left and right, then you can move up if you're positive, or down if you're what? Negative. So I'm going to show you with the little flashlight, the spotlight, so you can see. You always start at 0, okay? I'm going to use my little hand. And according to this, the x wants me to move 2. And since it's negative, I'm going to go to the left. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go, look at the little hand, -1, -2. That's where I'm at right now. But you're not done yet. Now the second one says -1.5. So I need to go either up or down. -1.5. Down. Negative is down. So I'm going to go, look at the hand again. 1, not to 2, 1.5. Did I hit that point? Yes. So that would be where I would plot the point. Let me try another one. G. What's the first one? +1. So start always from the origin, from 0, and the +1 is going to go to the right. Right? And then 9/2. Oh, what did I tell you to do when you have an improper? Bottom out. If I bottom out 9/2, it's going to be 4.5, just so you know. We're going to do it right now mentally. But very good, Carolina. So she quickly knew that 9/2, that's not a good fraction. It's improper. You need to bottom out those type of fractions. That will be 4.5. So now that I know it's 4.5, let me start again. 1, 4.5, up or down? Up. How much? 4.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 0.5 is in the
Middle.
Did I hit the point?
Yes.
So that would be choice B or G. The next one we have +3. Right or left?
Right.
1, 2, 3. 5/2. Oh, I don't like that again. So I'm gonna bottom out. It'll be 2.5, just so you know. So up or down?
Down.
Down. How much? 2.5. So 1, 2.5. Is there a point there? No. So that letter H is not on the list. The last one, -2.5. -2. 1, 2, and half means just la mitad, right there. Okay, so that one is there. So the only one that's not there, and they want to know which ones, are possible. So in this case, I would choose one answer, right? So the ones that were possible was F, G, and J. H was not there. Okay? Question? Now, some of you make the mistake that you want to go up and down first. No, your first move is always left or right, and then up and down. So you always want to go on the x-axis first. So you always go on the x-axis first. Either you go to the right or you go to the left. Then we can go either up or down, or over here up or down. Okay? Questions? I want to remind you also of quadrants. The letter C should remind you. This is quadrant 1, follow the letter C, quadrant 2, follow the letter C, quadrant 3, follow the letter C, quadrant 4. The letter C is a tool because of coordinate plane that remind me that I start like this. So 1, 2, 3. So let me do it with a flashlight so you can see it better. So we start the letter C like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Questions? Okay? You will have a question like this on the final, only one of them. Okay? The next one that you're going to have on the final is going to be like question number 35. You know what? I'm gonna do this guy already. You're gonna have one like question 53. So let me just take care of this guy already. You will have one like question 53. Okay, so let me go ahead and do it. Question 53, since I'm already here, I wanted to do it already. Question 53 says the graph shows the total cost in dollars Y of X tickets to the middle school. And then they're gonna say, there's no question here, but I'm gonna say the question is gonna be, write an equation that represents this graph. What did I tell you to do when you have graphs?
To do a table.
To do a chart, a table, right? So I'm gonna draw a table quickly. Let me get a better cutter. Very good. Guys, this is my best year ever. I'm not kidding with this. This is the best group of kids that I know that I've ever had in a long time. Like I know what I see what I have. Okay? If I can just fix the responsibility, which I am, we're gonna be amazing. You'll see. Guys, I used to score every time in my career, I used to score 90 or higher until COVID hit. That affected my scores. I want to go back to that 90 or higher person. Okay? In elementary, I used to score 100% every year on the first shot. Like I just killed it. In elementary, fifth grade, my kids would get 100%. All of them would pass in the first shot. All of them. Okay? In the first shot, you have 3 shots during fifth grade antes. Okay? My kids, 1 shot, boom, knockout, we're done. Then I came to middle school, and that was my goal. My goal was to change the idea that it's not possible to score 100%. I never got it though. I never got 100%. My first year here, I got 95%. 2 kids screwed me. Okay? I scored higher. They ranked all the teachers because during that time, Dr. Rita was here, and she was amazed because Paul was about to close. They were about to close Paul because they were scoring very low. Okay? That's when they had a grant called a TIP grant to transform the school. That's how they recruited me here. They told me, you come over here, we'll pay you more money if you can help us transform. Okay? So they gave me the worst of the worst kids that has never passed, y que les valía, según muchos and all that. But those kids scored 95%. Okay? Like my team 6, it was team 6-1. They scored higher than any team in the district. We even beat Steelman that time because I didn't even know, but Rita Hernandez made a big deal because she brought the rankings of all the teachers. And guess who was number 1? With those kids. So when I saw that, I said, it's possible to hit the 100. So we're ready. I was on a road trying to hit the 100. I never did. And then COVID hit. And then so now I'm back. But now I think I have a chance right now, to get my dream come true. My dream, I always have goals. So once I get the goal, I go get more challenges. I say, okay, ¿qué más puedo hacer? My goal is to be the first teacher in BISD to get 100% in their team as a 6th grade teacher. It's never happened. No teacher in BISD can say, oh, my kid's class is start. No teacher in BISD can say that. I want to be the first one. And I think I have the kids to do it this year, I hope. I think we can do it. X and Y. And then I'll come up with another goal next year. Go to another school and do the same thing, maybe. Okay, get the dots, right? You see the dot? 1, 6. Get another one. 2, 12. Another one, 3, 18. 4, 424. 530, and that's it? Yes. Okay? So how do I change my graph to table? That's how you do. You look at your X and your Y. Boy, we just went over, this is coordinates. X, Y, guys, that's all I'm doing. 1, 6, 1, 6. This makes the table. Questions? Now, since I want to make an equation, an algebraic equation, I'm going to first look at my graph, and I'm going to check that this graph go through the origin. Look. Yeah, it's going to go through the origin. And if it goes through the origin, I know that my equation has to be this. X, which is this guy. So we're going to go from X to Y, right? X times something, I don't know the something yet, equals Y.
6.
Listen again. Since it goes through the origin, I know that my equation has to be x times something equals y. Now, if it did not go through the origin, it would be x plus something equals y. You're saying it's 6?
Yes.
So you're going to get your pencil, put 6. But don't stop there. Now you're going to test them. You're going to test them. You're going to test your table. So I'm going to test 2. I'm going to test this guy. Who's the 2 in the table? X. Right? What's 2 times 6? And who's the 12 in the table? Y. 2 times 6 was 12? Yep, it worked with this guy. Test at least 3 of them, just to make sure. I'll test the next one, 3. 3 times 6?
18.
Did it work again?
Yes.
Good. One more, I'll get the last one. 5 times 6?
30.
Did it work again?
Yes.
So do you think you have the right equation? Yes, you do. However, I would prefer that you write it like this. A number next to a letter means multiply. So instead of writing it, I can go 6x equals y, or y equals 6x. All those are possible. You could even reverse this guy. Y equals x times 6. También lo puedes hacer así. Really, this is probably what we prefer. Math teachers prefer this guy. Okay, y equals 6x or 6x equals y. Because we want you to know that a number next to a letter means multiply, that this guy is a coefficient, the 6. Okay? Question with number 53.
No.
You will have 1 or 2 of these. Okay, I'm not sure. Remember, if it goes through the origin, it's multiply. If it does not go through the origin, it's going to be addition probably. Or subtraction. This one could be division, by the way. It could have been x divided by something equals y. But we know it's not division because 1 divided by something equals 6. Not possible. That's how I know it's not division. But it could have been this guy too. X divided by something equals y. When it goes to the origin, it could be this guy. Because division is the same thing as multiplication when you do PCF. I told you that last time. I'm not going to confuse you right now. Trust me, guys. It's not going to be division. It's not going to be subtraction for money. It's going to be either multiply or addition. It's going to be either x times something equals y or x plus something equals y. That's the equation that you're going to have to create on money. One of those. And it all depends on your graph or your table. Okay? Once you have the equation, don't forget to test it. The next one that is going to be part of your test is like question number 45. I'm going to do 46. Yeah. I just want to make sure I'm not giving you the actual final. Let me see. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of the questions that I'm putting in the final are there in the review. But I'm making sure that I'm not going over those. Pero no es que ya se la vaya a regar ahorita. So some of the questions that I have in the final are, so I'm going to pause. There are 80 baseballs and 50 footballs in the equipment room. Of these balls, 8 baseballs and 5 footballs are used. What percentage of the balls are used? Okay, ready?
Yes.
Percentage. Guys, whenever they want a percentage, I want you to quickly put this. Fraction, decimal, percent. Some teachers say free Dr. Pepper. Free, fraction, doctor, decimal, P, percent, pepper. So you didn't forget. When they want a percent of something, you have to create a fraction, change it to decimal, and then we can go to percent. Free Dr. Pepper. As soon as I saw what percentage, they want a percentage, I better have a fraction. Now, they want a percentage of the ones that are used. That's important too. Okay? So here we go. Right now, do you see any fractions literally in the story? No. So I'm going to teach you today how to make fractions when there's no fractions. Fractions, you always put the total on the bottom. Always the total goes on the bottom, guys, on a fraction. And on the top is what they're asking me for. So let's think about it. Let's first get the total. Do we know the total balls? No. We only know the 80 baseballs and 50 footballs. So how would I get the total balls? Good. You would add them. So I'm going to get the balls. 80 plus 50. Para ver cuántas pelotas hay. 8 plus 5.
8 plus 5 is like
30. So how many balls do you have? 130. So you already got the first part. Tenemos 130 pelotas. Okay? Yes? Okay. Now, after this one, quick. Now, what are they asking me? Look what they're asking you. They're asking you for the ones that are what? Used. Do we know how many are used? No?
Five.
So there's 8 that are baseballs that are used and 5 that are also footballs that are used. So what am I going to do with those two also? 5 plus 8 is 13. Since they're asking about those, that's why I put a question mark. What are they asking you for? They're asking you for the used balls. So that 13 would go there. I'm going to give you a curveball now, right now. Check this out. What if I would have asked you, what percentage of the balls are new? What would you have to do? Another extra step. Who knows what would you have to do to find the new ones? Instead of me asking you what percentage of balls are used, what if I would have asked you for the new ones? How would you figure out the new ones? No. Think about it. 13 of them are used. 130 are all of them. How would I find the new ones? Subtract. Good job, Pablo. And the ones that said it. Guys, it's like if I tell you there's 10 kids in the classroom. 3 of them are boys. But I want to know how many are girls. What would you do? Well, get rid of the boys so we can know what's left is girls. Same thing here. But here, don't subtract because they do want the use, so I'm going to keep the 13. But I could change that to become new. If I change it to become new, then you better not put a 13 there. You better put the difference of the, take away the 13, and then we'll know how many are new. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Well, we're done with that part. Good. We have a fraction now. Good. Now, how do I change it to a decimal? Bottom out. So I'm going to go 13. I'm going to record it. 13 divided by 130. Decimal. Go place by place. 1. Is that enough for 130?
No.
Put a 0. 13. Is that enough for 130? No. Put a 0. This guy's next, but there's nothing, and nothing really means a 0. 130, is that enough for 1?
No.
I'm done. So the decimal becomes 0. What? 0.1. This guy likes money, so I'm going to add a 0. So there's my decimal, 0.10. Now that I have my fraction, my decimal, now can I go to percent?
Yes.
How do we go to percent?
To the right.
Twice to the right. So we're going to percent. So I'm going to go here and say, you know what? 0.10. Twice to the right. 1, 2.
10%.
Don't forget to put the symbol. The answer would be 10%. So how many of the balls are used? 10%. How many are not used? 90%. Very good. You don't even have to calculate twice. Even if they would have asked me how many are new, once I figure out how many are used, the question is used. Once I know it's 10% used, was 90% are not used, which are the new ones. Do you understand? Other things, logical reasoning. Guys, look at choice B. ¿Cómo van a hacer 62% that are used si nomás 13 pelotas están usadas? How can you, that's not even half of it. So like the kid that chooses B, he's not using logic. Because there's only 13 balls that are used out of the 130. Guys, Whenever they want a percent, you better put 3 Dr. Pepper. Fraction. Decimal percent. And how do we create a fraction? This is the way to create a fraction always, this here. This is how to create a fraction. Don't forget this. The total goes on the bottom. What they're asking you, that's why I put that question. What they're asking you goes on the top. What you need to understand in life, in fractions, is that when you have a fraction, look, let me do yellow. Listen, when you have a fraction in life, you actually have 2 fractions. When you have a fraction, you have 2 fractions. You have what's shaded and what's not shaded. And it all depends on the question. So they're asking me, what's not shaded, the numerator becomes the 3. If they're asking me what's shaded, the question controls what they're asking me, what they're considering, then 1/4. So anytime that you create fractions, you actually have created 2 fractions. Don't forget that. And it all depends on what they're asking you. Questions? I'm going to continue the video throughout the day. So like the next class, we'll know. Ready? So you're going to have a question like this on Monday. It's going to be almost like this one. So it says here, a baseball player hit 5. A baseball player hit 5 times for every 9 pitches on the batting machine. What is the ratio of hits to pitches that shows the same rate of his hits? Listen. So, okay. So whenever you see this word for every, that's a ratio, guys. A rate. Y pues está la palabra otra ratio también, está la palabra otra rate here. So whenever you see that, I want a proportion. I've been telling you that long time ago. So you need to read whomever comes first goes first. So look at the word 2. You see the word 2 right there? That's where you guys are screwing up. You're not finding that word 2. This 2 tells you that this guy has to go first. I'm going to go hits 2 what? Pitches. Now I can put my ratio. So 5 times, he hit the ball 5 times, so the 5 goes on the top. Look, if you want, sir, turn around. That's it correctly. And then how many pitches were there? 9. So the 9 goes on the bottom. Okay? Questions? Now, all these are possible ratios. They want to know which one is possible that matches that. So what I'm going to do is I can go with this guy first. And instead of cross products, you can cross products. You can do it like elementary too. You can say, okay, 5 times 1 gives me 30. 6. What you do on the top, you do on the bottom. What's 9 times 6? 9 times 6.
63.
No.
36.
54. Thank you.
Oh.
So, do they match?
Yes.
So this is one answer. Then you write it again. 5 to 9. Write the next one. 54 to 30.
No.
And 5 give you 54. Hombre. So that's not an answer. Then write it again. 5 times what?
2.
2. And 9 times what?
2. 3.
2. It has to be the same thing. You can't change it.
I said 2, sir.
5 times 2, 10. 9 times 2.
18.
Ah, no. The next one, so you.
5.
5 times what?
7.
7. And what's 9 times 7?
36. I mean, 63.
63. So this guy works. Okay. Nice. That's the thing with 5 to 9. The next one. 5 times what?
3. Wait, no.
Is it possible? No. How about that one? The next one?
15. Times 10.
I'm gonna do this one cross products on purpose, just so you can see that this is also possible. You can also do this. 9 times 50, 450. 90 times 5, 450, and they're equal, so that you would get that one. Okay? Or you can do it elementary. 5 over 9, 50 over 90. Elementary is this. Times what? 10. Times what? 10. Yep, it worked. This is easier. That's what she had done one time in one of the problems that I said. Sometimes se cuestiona hacer cross products, okay? But sometimes when there's such big numbers, se cuestiona mejor hacer esto, okay? If you're a calculator kid, I probably would always do cross products. If I just punch it in, put the answer, punch it in, put the calculator equal. If you're a calculator kid, I would just do cross products. If you're not a calculator kid, I would be smart about it and say, okay, can I do it like elementary? And if I can't, we'll do it that way. If I cannot, we'll then do cross products. Questions? And the whole thing is like that. I'm going to go over the one. Let me just do the last one. 5 to 9, 36 to 20. I'm going to do cross products on purpose again. 20 times 5 will be 100. 9 times what? 9 times 36, so 36 times 9. That's why cross products sometimes takes longer because it's bigger numbers. That's 54. 27 plus 3, 32. So they're not equal, so that's not going to be one. So my answer is going to be that one, and that one. Questions?
No.
You will have one question like this on Monday that deals with ratios, and you have to find the equivalent ratios. You don't have to select all the ones that are possible. Okay? If they would have said not possible, then you would select the other ones. Got it? Sí, vamos bien. The next one they're gonna have will be about number lines. These. I'm gonna do a couple of these because some of you are still real confused with this. So, they want me to put this in the number line. Your question on Monday is gonna be a hotspot, so you're gonna have to press on the hotspot that you know where you're gonna graph it, okay? Please listen, because some of you are all confused with this type of question. When you have a number line, your first job is to check where's the hole. So from here to here, that's the hole. Yes? Now I'm gonna check how the hole was cut into. I do not count the 0, guys. You count the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this guy's in 12. So guess what this means? This means that this guy is 112, 212, 312. And really, I do not even care about all of them. I'm going to care about this guy. So let me just go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this guy's 10, 12. So what should I do with that 10, 12 so I can know it's 75%? What should I do with that 10, 12? Bottom out. That's what I should do. Bottom out. Divide it. Good. So I'm going to go 10.
No, it's 12.
10 divided by 12. Decimal. 1, is that enough? No. 10, is that enough? No. 100, is that enough? Yes. Times 1, I can go to my times table chart that I hope that you make before you start the final. And it'll be 8. I already can stop, guys, because we're trying to find 75%. That's already at 80%, because when I move twice, the rest going to be 87, right? So you know that letter A? Out. The next one. I always say, where's the hole? From here to here, there's the hole. Yes? Now we're going to check the pieces that is the hole. Don't count that guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this guy's 1/5, 2/5. So let me just go to the point already. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. 4/5. What am I going to do with this guy? Bottom out. 4. 4 divided by 5. Boom, boom. We're already at 80% again, so that's out. Okay? The next one, same thing. There's a whole, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is in 8, so each of them is 1 8, 2 8, 3 8, 4 8, 5 8, 6 8. So this guy is 6 8. Bottom out, 6 8, 6 divided by 8, decimal, decimal, 99, times 7 is 56, because I know my times table was fast, add a 0, times 5 is 40, and I think I found the guy. This guy is worth 75%, because then I'm going to move twice to the right, 1, 2, 75%. This guy is the answer, probably letter C. Of course, I called Brian's going to go check the rest just to make sure he scores right. So I'm going to go check from here to here, that's the whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to spot. Guys, when it's 10, when it's broken in 10, it's like 10%. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So guess what? This guy is 70%. That's not 70%, that's 75%, right? So, what would 75% be? Huh? No. Let me ask you this question. On the last graph, let me put a little flashlight. What would 75% be? That's 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70.
A little bit more, half.
Right there, right? More or less in the middle? Don't forget that. So if something is broken into 10, it's 10%. Right? Fácil. And if it's in between, it'll be like 15, 25, 35, 45. Questions with number 33? I would go home and practice. It's a semester exam. Questions with that one? And this is your actual final exam, so you're not hotspot wherever you're not, like they're looking for 35%. So first you have to figure out the count of them. Okay? Let me see. Oh no, I should not be. Okay. The next type of question that you have on the final is going to be like this one. In Austin, Texas, 8 bats ate 40 grams of insects in one night. At this rate, how many grams of insects could 64 bats eat? So, I see the word rate, and when I see the word rate, I'm going to do a proportion. Okay? A proportion means I'm going to set up two ratios that are equal, but I need to label them. Okay? So, in this case, I have 8 bats, so I'm going to put bats on the top, and 40 grams, I'm going to put grams on the bottom. Again, as soon as I saw the word rate, I already told you, ratios, I'm going to see a proportion, okay? Bats are 8, 40 goes in the bottom, and then I have a 64 that are what also? What are those 64? Bats, because they'll go on the top, and next in the bottom. At this moment, again, you can do cross products and do SAT-M, or you can do elementary. I'm going to go with cross products SAT-M because that's what I want you to know for pre-algebra, algebra. So I'm going to go 8 times x.
8x.
40 times 64. I'm going to have to go to the side for that factor. 40 times 64. 0 times 0. 0 times 4 is 0. 0 times 6 0. Cross it out, put a 0. Don't forget that. 4 times 4 is 16. 24, 25. 2,560. Now, is x by itself? No. So I'm going to use that m. This means multiply, so to get rid of that 8, I'm going to do the inverse, which is to divide by 8. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. This guy cancels that one, so thank you very much. Now I'm going to go to the side, 2,560, bottom out, divided by 8. Your decimal at the end, guys. And here we go. 2, is that enough? No. 25, is that enough?
Yes.
Times 3, that will be 24. Times 2, that will be 16. And you're not done there because you still have a slot there and you have the, yeah. So this 0 has to come down. That's not enough. So when it's not enough, why would you just put a 0? So how many grams would 64 bats eat? 320.
320 points.
So x equals 320. They'll be eating that. Now, again, this girl here, this is what I prefer you do. But if you're like, because of time or whatever, you could do this. You have to set it up the way I taught you, right?
64 eggs.
That's, this is option 2.
That's grams.
Option 2 is like elementary. Can the 8 become a 64? 8 times what?
8.
8. 8 times 8 is 64. What you do on the top, you do on the
Bottom.
40 times 8. I go to the side. 40 times 8. X equals 320. Most kids will say, oh, this is much better, sir. It is. It's faster. However, I do this on purpose. I want to get you ready for the algebra. Pre-algebra. Okay? That's fine. Both of them, that's your choice. Questions?
No.
Here we go. You'll be getting a question like this on Monday also. Some of you, I don't know why you would mess up on these, but guys, whenever you see this word, that they want 8%, what percent? You better quickly put this fraction, decimal, percent. Some teachers say free Dr. Pepper, right? So you can remember. Free, fraction, decimal, Dr. Pepper, P, percent. Okay? So I'm gonna have to create a fraction first. And here's where kids mess up, so you better listen. To create fractions, you always put on the bottom the total. Listen. And on the top, what they're asking you. Guys, this is so important because it depends what they're asking me. That's what goes on the top. So let me go read. What percent of the floor has been tiled? So first of all, I cannot assume that the gray is tiled. I have to go read so they can tell me what's the shaded and what's the not shaded. Because what is the shaded is what's not tiled. So I gotta read. And it says here, the shaded area of the gray represents the part of the floor that has been what? Tiled. So now I feel comfortable that the gray part is the tiled. So they are asking me about the tiled, which is the gray part. Or the shaded. So here we go. My first job is to create a fraction. So total 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 times 6 is 24. So the total is 24. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Question with that?
No.
What are they asking me about? Are they asking me about the not shaded or the shaded?
Shaded.
Shaded, the tile. So guess what? That's why I put a question mark. Whatever they're asking me goes on the top. So they want that shaded. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
18.
There, I've done my first part, 18 out of 24. Now, what am I going to do to change the decimal? Bottom out. 18 divided by 24, decimal at the end.
0.
Enough? No. Enough? No. Add a 0.
8.
Times what? I'm going to go and guess.
8.
Now, if you have choices, take advantage of the choices.
8.
It could be 1, 7, 8, or 6.
8.
Which one do you want to guess?
8.
8? 8. 32, 16, 19, 192, it went over. So it's probably going to be what? 7. That's right.
I knew it.
28, 14, 16, 168, it is 7. Did you see what I just did? I took advantage of the choices to know times what. Like, I didn't know times 7, so I just looked at the first number, 1, 7, 6, and 8. So any of those, I would not say, let's try times 3. No hay ningún número de 3 aquí, so why don't you try times 3? When there's choices, take advantage of them so you can know times what. Okay? This guy becomes a 10. I made a mess here. I should have moved this more this way. There we go. This one. I won't confuse you all. Okay.
2.
10 minus 8, 2. 8 minus 6, 2. No?
No, it's
7. My bad.
1.
Add a 0. 120. Well, look, you already used a 7. You have to do who? 5. Let me test it. 24 times 5. You better go test it on the side to make sure. Yep, it is that. Now I know that the decimal is 0.75. Now can I go to percent? How do you go to percent? Twice to the right. So we're going to percent. So 0.75. 1, 2. Put the percent. 75%. Boom. The answer is B. And I'm done. You will have a problem like this, but please be careful. It depends on what they're asking, because I could ask you for the not shaded, or the shaded, so you have to read. And that's your benchmark. I mean, that's your final for Monday. I think it's pretty easy. You watch the whole video, but it's gonna be it'll be a long one, an hour and something.